Hi, welcome to another lesson for the left hand technique. This particular left hand technique deals with the left hand hammer-ons. Okay, so some of these techniques you're going to hear in the strumming lessons, which I do not talk about in the strumming lessons. So let me show you what I'm doing. Basically, the left hand hammer-on technique is basically what you're doing. You're just hammering on a note, a finger, into the chord. So let's talk about the G chord. So if you don't know how to make a G chord, please refer to your chord chart. Okay, so I got a G chord here. Now if I were to just strum it, this is a basic G chord and I'm just doing an up and down strumming. It sounds good, but it sounds kind of plain. So what I'll do is a hammer on. And all the hammer on is bringing the finger down into the chord. So right now, here's an open string, and I'm bringing down that finger into the string, hammering on the string. So let's put the rest of the fingers on the chord. Here's a G chord. I'm hammering on the second finger right here, right onto the chord. So the finger's off. So you make a G chord, lift your second finger off, strum first, bring it down. Lift the finger off, strum down, bring it on. Second finger, we'll talk about the second finger, your index finger, lift it off, strum down, bring it on. Okay? Off, strum down, bring it on. Okay? So it looks like this when you're strumming. And as you can see, it adds a little bit more flavor to that chord. Okay, now, certain hammer-ons are naturally going to provide a different sound to the chord. So in other words, I think, for example's sake, that this second finger coming off is probably the one that gives the best tonality to the G chord, because the rest of the fingers are still holding the G sound, and that second finger just adds the final note to the G chord. Now you could do it with the first finger, but it has a different sound to it. Or you could do it with the third finger, and once again that has a different sound too. So I think if you're just needing a subtle change to the G chord, the second finger works well. But depending on what sound it is that you want, first finger, different sound, ring finger, different sound. Okay. And what I'm also using a lot in this course is on the blues strums. I'm doing 7 chords. So in other words, the A7. Here's an A7. Here's an A7. If you don't know how to do an A7, look on your chord chart. A7. And what I'm doing is I'm hammering on. So once again, it's off, strum, down. Off, strum, down, hammer on. Off, strum, hammer on. Okay? So, and if you do it in a quick succession, it sounds cool. You can do that with all your 7 chords. For instance, B7, C7. So all of those bar chords, you can do that. Okay, now as an E7, I'm just bringing my third finger down. Now keep in mind, you cannot do this with every single chord. However, it'd be a good idea to kind of experiment with the different chords, see what notes work well with a hammer-on. I can't go through every single chord, but at least I can give you the idea on what it is I'm doing with the strum lessons. So in some of the lessons you'll hear me either playing a variation to the G chord, so you know what it is I'm doing. I'm just doing a hammer on. Sometimes I do a little pull off like this, like baby finger, down, then pull off. Okay, but basically the important thing is that it's popular with the hammer-ons. Well, another one is a D chord. A D chord, 1, 2, 3. Please look on your chord chart if you need to know how to make a D chord. But I'm doing 1, 2, 3, and I'm bringing down my third finger. Okay, Bring it off, strum, bring it down. Third finger, ring finger, off, strum, down. Off, strum, down. Okay, so that's another chord that you can work with. Once again, experiment with the chords, see what chords work. See what chord has an option to do a hammer on to add that nice versatility to the sound of the chord. Now, we don't talk about this in the actual strumming course, so you're going to have to apply this technique, the hammer-on chord technique, to your strumming lesson. But you'll hear it. You'll hear it in the strumming lessons that I'm doing something unusual that offers a different, unique kind of interesting sound, and basically that's what I'm doing. So review this some more and get an idea on a strong understanding of how I'm doing the hammer-ons for the chords, and experiment with it, because once again, you can't apply it to every single chord, but there's quite a few chords that do work with this style of hammer-on for the chords. Okay, with that being said, you got a choice to listen to this again, but if you feel you're ready, we'll see you for the next lesson.